Welcome to Families in Faith. This summer we're going to look at Bible stories, those stories that pop up in children's Bibles and in Sunday school lessons. Then we're going to help you use them with your kids. There is nothing better than reading these Bible stories with your kids and then adding your own information and expanding the story, helping your kids connect the dots and better understand God's story. While Sunday school lessons and even children's Bibles present these great stories as standalone, we know that they weave together to show God's meta-narrative. These lessons this summer are designed to show how they all fit together. All of these lessons will assume one thing, that you and your children read the Bible together. I recommend getting an age-appropriate Bible. Then, parents, watch the video, read your own Bible, read the follow-up information, and then sit down together with your children to read the story from their Bible. So after you're all prepared, sometime this week, find a special time for family devotion, a time where you can read this story and go over some of the bonus stuff together. A lot of this will just be background information and connection points. Some of it will be additional lesson ideas like games or activities that you can download and do with your kids to help drive the lesson home. So over this coming summer, with the commitment of maybe an hour or two per week, you and your children will dive into God's grand story and how it applies to our lives. May your journey be a blessing to you and to your children. We start with creation. The Bible begins appropriately enough at the beginning. In the Hebrew Bible, the title of the first book translates to beginning, and the word Genesis that we use in English is derived from a Greek word meaning birth or genealogy or the history of origin. The first chapter of Genesis gives us the creation account, followed by the second chapter, which gives a little more detail of creation, specifically focusing on the creation of Adam and Eve. From the very beginning, we get a sense of the Trinitarian nature of God. The word used for God was Elohim, which is plural, but the verb used for creating is singular. We see that the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters, and we learn in John chapter 1 that Jesus was the agent of creation, being called the Word. And this is how God created, by His Word. He said it, and it was so. This phrase repeats every day of creation. God spoke, and it was so. Another phrase that repeats is, it was good. God's creation was good. Followed by the last day when God looked over everything He created, and He says it was very good. One thing that's good to note is the 7 days of creation and what was created on those days. Day 1, day and night. Day 2, the sky. Day 3, land and seas along with vegetation. Day 4, the sun, the moon, and the stars. Day 5, all the creatures of the sea and the birds of the air. Day 6, all the creatures on the earth, including mankind. And on day 7, God rested. The real key to the creation account is how foundational it is to the rest of the story. God was there before the world began. He spoke and the world was created. He gave life and He gives life. There is no God but Him. God loves His creation and has been a part of the story since the very beginning. Specifically man. Man was set apart in creation, created in God's image, which means we have the capacity for love and even holiness. We have the ability to choose, called free will. And while sin has marred the image of God that we were created in, we still stand in a different relationship with the Creator as the only beings created in His image. The rest of the Bible is about God's loving interaction with His created, specifically how He longs to restore us to the perfect image to which He created us. In the weeks to come, we will explore this story together.